We're three grumpy old men from St Kilda. Well, we're not all that grumpy. He's grumpy, but he's grumpy as well. This is Dick, and that is Mick, and I'm David. And we're here to talk about the important issues or the silly issues because we're grumpy and we're proud of it. All right, the double vax passport.
You snuck pride into that.
Pride?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm just
You
saying.
said you're proud of it.
I said proud.
Good.
I didn't say pride. I said
Whatever.
proud.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, moving on. Passport. Have you got your passport?
I tried last night, very late, and they asked for my children, my third and fourth children's date of birth.
How many kids have you got?
Yeah. How many?
4 I'm aware of.
Okay.
All right. So why are they asking for your children's date of birth?
Because they happen to appear on the Medicare card that I never they just left all my children on my Medicare card. So
All right.
as a proof of identity, I had to say, well, and it's not like, I mean...
I'm not concerned about why. All I say to myself is Mick couldn't get into the digital passport, which is made for any moron to get into. And,
Apparently.
And you failed.
I actually failed, and I studied that, and I thought, well, am I going to ring my children and ask them what day they're born? And they
Well,
would have
how rude would that be?
correct.
Don't you have it written in a diary, or are you losing your mind a little
It is a
bit?
parade of
I'm
incompetence.
67 almost, David, and I have a little bit of both Alzheimer's and a bit of
Okay.
Asperger's, I think. So,
Right, is it Asperger's? All right, I didn't
Cognitive
realise that.
decline, let's put it like that.
No,
All
I'm
right.
sharp as a butt. I'm sharp as a tack.
Sharp as a
sharp
button.
but then sharper than a
That's
tack.
what we all heard.
Dick, what about you?
Okay, so I'm a belligerent pro double vaxxer.
Good.
I've got the double vax. It's no surprise that we all have because we're old and vulnerable
Yep, and grumpy.
and grumpy. I don't think grumpiness is a comorbidity, but anyway.
I don't care if you die, actually. Either.
What are you mumbling about?
Yeah, it was
speak
pretty.
up,
It
we
was
can't
pretty
hear you.
nasty. But so I am committed and quite doctrinaire on this.
Doctrinaire?
But yeah, we have to get it, and I'm an advocate for being quite hardline on it.
Right.
The issues that I think we might talk about
Yep.
is first of all counterfeiting. Second,
Easy to do.
Yeah.
Well, all you've got is that little card with the
Two different
nurses.
doctors wrote. Two
Yeah,
different doctors
but
wrote the
you could have
info on.
You could have
I
done
bloody
it
well
yourself.
didn't though.
But how do we know that?
I don't give a rat's ass.
Did
what
you get
want us to think.
the thumbprint of the doctor? No.
I will get it tomorrow. I will actually have Joe Blair put his thumbprint on that card, and then
Okay.
I'll go down to St
that's-
Kilda Police
that's-
Station and have them dust it so it's obvious. Take a photo of that, you pricks, and I'm fucking free.
so but clearly there is a need for a digital.
Of course there is.
And the
No
digital
problem.
one has to keep on being able to go into the database to check that the data that it's drawn from is correct.
Yep.
Oh dear.
But there will be counterfeiting. There will be.
But what about the checking of it? Who's going to really check it? When you go in now and look, we've all got to register that we're been into that particular store.
Taxi.
So many people aren't doing it, and no one's really checking.
I actually think that's true, but the QR codes are not being observed. But I think that the digital vaccine passport might be different.
Do you think?
No.
It
no,
may
no,
be.
No, have a look at what's happening in New South Wales. I mean, even the new ScoMo's new Terrapet up there, Paratet.
Well,
Paratet,
what is happening up there?
Terrapet, I call him.
All right, what's
I'm
happening?
just saying, well, I mean, they've just given it away. No, I mean, obviously everyone's got a scan. No one's going to check at the end of the day,
But the passport's different again.
Yeah, and the thing about the lockdown in New South Wales was always a mockdown.
Yep.
And
And that's why it spread around,
Yeah.
especially down here to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Bastards up there in Sydney.
pricks. Anyway,
careful, I was born and bred there.
As was I. But look, my what I would say is that I, of course, don't know whether there'll be counterfeiting.
Yep.
And I don't know whether there'll be checking. I just hope that there is. On big on big contracts, like a contract to fly,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, the airlines are used to checking stuff, and they will check.
They will.
Yeah, no, but
But the pub, different.
Yeah, the passport has a some type of new, like digital or some
Signature or something.
Yeah. So it can't be counterfeited that easily, you know.
I reckon people will. Well, the
Well,
interesting.
obviously, there's going to be clever terrorists out there that will be able to do
will.
it. Obviously, you know?
but-
but do we have to worry about them so much? Probably not. They'll probably die of COVID before they even get to us.
Well, the interesting thing is, I volunteer at a big, like community organisation here in St Kilda, and we've been told we have to prove it.
And
You know,
take
like-
it seriously.
And take it seriously.
And I belong to a club and a gym, and they taking it seriously, and I've already lodged my certificate with them.
I played
So there are people who are taking it seriously.
And we won't be allowed
Pennant
it
bowler,
in the
mate.
building.
I'm a pennant lawn bowler, you know, at Middle Park now. You know what I mean?
What,
Every
do you
lawn
get,
bowler.
Do you get prizes for coming last, do you? A pennant for coming last?
Have you actually seen my
No,
my
I haven't
trophy
seen
cabinet?
them, no.
My trophy. Yes, David, thank you. You haven't seen it.
Show me your trophy cabinet.
David.
No, you don't want to.
No.
I don't want to see
I'll
it.
never hold it against you unless you try to.
Anyway,
hold it
let's
against
move
me.
on from mixed genitals.
Yes, please, thank you. I was talking about my bowls trophies, which I have quite a few.
Really?
Oh, right.
I couldn't be more bored. But anyway,
Congratulations.
you know, lawn bowls, the most boring thing to watch
No,
in
it
the
isn't.
world.
It's the most exciting thing you've ever done in your life.
We're diverging. So there is that counterfeiting thing. It's yet to play out.
Yep.
Secondly, I think that the community has finally got to the stage where we're saying you have to be double vaxxed, but not quite. So just today, with my employer said, wrote to us all and said, you know, people's vaccination status is a personal thing. Well, no, it's not. It's a thing that affects me.
Yep.
And around the corner from me are two people, double vax, both got COVID. It's out there. Vaccination is an imperfect protection. We are entitled
Oh,
to
my
demand a double vax.
Oh, I thought I had that turned. Oh, it's in my ear. It's all right.
Okay.
What, your vibrator? Have you turned your vibrator on?
Yeah. Sorry, I've got earphones, and like we know that if your phone goes off in recording, you have to buy a slab. But
I thought you were saying something about me pontificating.
All right.
really.
Well, we're talking about the passport, and here we go. This race that stops the nation is coming up.
the what?
Melbourne Cup.
The race that stops the
I thought you
nation.
said the racists stop the nation.
No.
And
We've had
Melbourne
enough of
Cup.
that.
Melbourne
Okay,
Cup.
Melbourne Cup. Okay.
You've got to have a passport to go in. 10,000 people are going
I'm
in.
sure that'll be checked.
I'm sure that will be. Oh my God, that will be checked.
Yeah.
So, sport all of a sudden is okay. It's this big race day. The whole of it, you know, like although that's changing with COVID last year, the race didn't happen. Well, it did, but no one was there. But sports get so much accolade and help where the arts and entertainment don't get anywhere near as help and support. Yes, they're doing the big Maya Music Bowl concert. That will only be for probably a few hundred people with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. What is it?
That's
with-
arena art, and we're talking about arena sport. You're comparing apples to apples now, and that's fair, you know. But when you talk about general sport, community sport, the teams that make up the whole population of soccer, lawn bowls, netball.
What about community theatre and community
But they-
sing-along?
That's
But
a much smaller community.
No,
like-
it's not.
No, but
Oh,
no. What I
sorry.
would say,
Lawn bowls was the largest, and netball for women were the largest participation.
I think we've
sports.
learned never mention the word lawn bowls in his.
Well, he
You know,
brought
all
it
I'd
up.
say is,
I'm
no,
just
I think
talking
it's an interesting dichotomy between art and sport. But what I would say is, sport takes place outdoors,
Okay.
and with the aerosols dissipating in the outside,
Yep.
and what Mick said about the arena. So where you've got at the Maya Music Bowl, that's clearly easier than...
And there are those pods that you separated
They're applying
from
a
everyone.
soma to us. This is the beginning of the release. They're applying that soma, to us, like that thing that we're all going to
You said
love
something
and
wise
enjoy.
and then you go off.
Eh? No, they are. They're giving us that idea that we're getting some freedom, but it's 4 metres, like 4 metres.
But you're in a difficult position here, Mick, because you like to disagree with governments. You like to rail against restrictions.
I rail against Liberal governments.
Yeah, restrictions. But the grim reality is that I think you actually agree with some of the COVID responses that have been put out by governments.
I do, totally. I mean, I'm
That's
far
right,
middle.
this is a
I'm
very-
far middle. I'm far middle. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got extreme
But-
views in
but-
both the left and the right.
But he should be happy because all the rules that are being set down at the Victorian government, which like you don't
My
like
mate Dan.
Liberals, and
I love Dan.
and because the federal government's not doing much.
I think the feds have been, the feds have been saved by the states.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Labor states.
largely, no, I think at the start Gladys got it that this was different. ScoMo was going to
Now
go
we've got
to
the
his
terrapet in there.
was going to go to and see the Sharkies play. He said, "Oh, we'll have a lockdown, but I'll go tomorrow and see the Sharkies play." He didn't get it. He never got it, and he didn't get it for a long time.
He did well. It's not a race. It's not a.
Oh, it's not a race. A disgrace that he said it's not a race.
That is
You
appalling.
brought something
That's
up that
appalling.
goes back to my childhood. The Sharks, Cronulla Sutherland,
Yep.
the football team.
The
I grew up
Sharkies.
in Miranda on Yowie Bay, as a child.
Yeah.
And my favourite place where I could get watermelons and pumpkins and like cheap
Cronulla?
bike parts. No, the Tarrant Point Tip. And they turned that into the bloody Sharks footy ground, the bastards.
Oh,
Now they're
they're
redevelop-
real bastards for
Yeah.
doing that.
And they did. It was a
That's
personal
called
thing.
progress.
For me it was.
It was personal.
It's watermelon and
Yeah.
pumpkins.
Fortunately,
Oh,
I got
God.
dragged down to Melbourne at 13, so I didn't miss much.
Right.
They just started. Balmain and Tigers won that year, 1967. Go Tigers. So it was sort of like
I'm struggling to care about this, but anyway.
okay. You were St Kilda
All of
supporter, yeah.
all of a sudden
Good luck.
we've mentioned our Prime Minister, and it was one of
That
the topics
piece of
we were
shit.
going to get to. But should he be going to Glasgow?
Of course he should.
I think he's too scared to because
He can't unless the Nationals sign off. And that's the bottom line. If he goes over there and Barnaby and the boys, Barnaby hasn't cajoled and done his thing with
But
them.
this should have been, Mick. This should have been done.
We're talking
at the
about
beginning
National
of the,
Party.
The beginning of the year. It
Yes,
shouldn't
yes,
be spoken about now when it's right on the it's happening next month. Why have they left it so late?
Nationals.
And that's why
The
he's
Nationals.
embarrassed.
The Nationals.
He's going to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, so once again, I'm a belligerent, determined, doctrinaire person on climate change. Ideally, he maybe should have gone. There is an argument that he shouldn't go, because I think he's going to get a deathbed repentance in time for the next election to get back. Whereas I've got this personal view.
What do you think he's going to get back?
Well, there's a risk. And I've got this view. If you have a policy position that destroys good policy for a decade or more, then you should pay for a decade or more. And he won the climate change election last time. And, that was just appalling. I'm a Labor hack, I confess it.
But he won it because the Labor Party, we spoke about this last time. Shorten wasn't a good candidate.
But we still got the bulk of the votes. It's just the coalition and the various jury members that helps out.
But the fact is,
But the same applies here. That I love Albo, but he's not a popular candidate.
No.
I don't know why. It's like, like Kevin Rudd was the most popular elected Prime Minister ever, and as soon as he gets nailed by all the feminists in the party.
No, he was a bit...
Anyway, hold on. Let's not go there. Let's talk about the issue right this very moment. The average Australian right now have got solar panels on their house. We're looking for change. We want change with climate change. The government's not giving it to us. The whole country's a bit embarrassed about what's happening with climate change here in Australia. Glasgow is, it's really good that that's coming up, because he's going to have to do something, because, Biden and everyone else is pointing the finger going, come on, bud.
Even
what
Prince
are
Charles
you,
has
what are you?
said,
Exactly. Prince Charles overnight last night, sort of criticised our Prime Minister. I think he's in a situation where he's got to do something, and I think that we as the Australian public are actually pushing him into it, but the rest of the world is pushing him into it as well.
All of that's true, but it's duplicitous. For that man to cloak himself in the garb of being a climate change champion
It's like he's
and
scum.
going there, he's going to get legitimacy and credibility by ending up in Glasgow. This is a man who carried coal into the parliament. And all his fellow travellers like Barnaby and all those other Neanderthals in the National Party. I mean, he's going to get away with it again, and he's going to be a winner again.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong, but
I don't think
I
so.
suspect that once again you're wrong.
And also the
I've
fact
picked
is,
the last few elections very, very, very succinctly, other than the last one, which I called again as what happened with Julia Gillard, we had the
what?
It's like Mike
I'm an
Williamson in the 66 grand final. I predicted this.
No, what we're going
I
to
write
do...
this shit down, Dick. It's in my newspaper.
No, hold on.
And people can follow it and see that I actually called it.
All right, well, let's call the next election here on camera right
I'll
now.
tell you now.
All right, yeah.
It probably won't be Albo, but the Labor Party will win federally.
So you're saying that Albo's going to be tossed out before the
I
election?
believe so.
Oh, it's a bit too late now.
It's a big call. No, Hawkey tossed Hayden
Correct.
a week.
A week.
Oh, no, 2 weeks before the election.
Yeah, correct.
On the day the election was called.
Correct.
But he was a charisma kid.
All right.
So who's got the charisma in the Labor Party?
Tanya.
Plibersek, yes.
Yeah.
And
So you think Labor's going to win? And you're saying it to... Look at the camera now.
Labor
Labor's
will
going to
win the next federal election.
All right, here we go.
So Andrews
remember
will be
that,
returned
people.
in Victoria. The New South Wales Parliament will be returned
Over here,
to
over
Labor.
here.
Will be returned to Labor.
Why are you dignifying him with...
No, I don't care. I'm far middle. I really prefer to ditch the whole Westminster principle and create a nation instead of this bunch of British colonies running a federal system. To me, it makes no sense. We're not even a nation. We're not even a real nation. We're still this tawdry little bunch of fucking plebs sitting out in the Pacific.
Yeah, it is interesting you say that. I mean, you just can't change it. You can't get rid of the states. Everyone sits around and ruminates about how it'd be great to get rid of the states. But if you read the Constitution, it's a contract between the states and this new coming Commonwealth.
The British Parliament.
Yeah, it was ticked off by the Brits, but it's essentially about the states.
New South Wales, New Zealand is still part of New South Wales in that same document.
And do you know what? Thank God the states are still strong, because the states have looked after their individual states in this COVID time. And if it was done federally, we would have been the backwash.
Oh, we'd all be screwed.
Here,
we'd all be dying.
Well, I don't know when this is going out, but this morning there was a report by the British Parliament basically saying that the poor leadership of Boris and the Conservatives led to the unnecessary death of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
And tens of thousands.
Yep.
We would have been there.
Wooden spoon. Who are you giving it to this week?
Oh shit, I haven't done my preparation. You go first.
Wooden spoon.
Dickhead of the week.
Now, I'll have to actually take a small moment to consider this, because I do think that at the end of the day, ScoMo wins Dickhead of every week for some time in the future.
Well, you've stolen mine.
Yeah, you stolen mine.
Well, see, I did that last week too, though.
We did. We all agreed last week.
Yeah, so what can I say? I'm just that
Well, basically, I'm angry that
lightning rod for intelligence.
Well, I'm angry. I'm really angry that he's going to get a degree of undeserved redemption.
I don't think he will.
No,
I
I think he's going to be recognised as the filthy.
Yeah, maybe I am a sad sack and a pessimist.
You are. No,
it's nice that you've had
I think you're an optimist, thinking that he'll get that, because like everyone's going to realise that this is actually a Christian bullshit thing. You know, like I mean, this is totally the most fallacious.
I don't think
Prime
you can
Minister
say
we've ever
that.
had.
Praise the Lord. He didn't say that.
I
He
did
didn't
say that. I mean, this all started with those two friggin' boats.
What boats?
The ships, Princess, what was that one in Sydney? The Princess, where all ScoMo's mob were allowed out. And then the second boat full of them came in. They sent them to Melbourne because they already had a boat full of them in Sydney, and they let them out down here. And then they sold fucking Festival Hall to them. This is not going well for Victoria. You know, we need Hillsong's like a hole in the head.
Right, so
I think we're losing coherence.
No, it's not coherence we're losing. You're not listening.
All right. I was chatting to somebody today who spends half their life there and here, and they reckon...
By the name of Warren?
Yes.
Warren, what a wonderful
that they will be back in lockdown by December because it's so
well,
bad
I
there
checked
right
them.
now.
I checked them up. You know, the states they've still got 1,000 to 2,000 people dying per day.
Yep. They'll be going into lockdown in the next month. Anyway, moving on.
Hold on, just one last word. I
Yes.
think that the key to Victoria has been, unlike a lot of other states and other areas of rule, our Premier, our government's followed the health advice basically to the letter, as opposed to actually applying their fiduciary will, you know, their want to recreate and redevelop the business.
I can't believe you said something sensible, Mick.
Get fucked, Dick.
All right, moving on.
No, I agree with you. It's just a very big surprise.
Facebook, social media and Google. Should there be tougher regulations?
No.
Yes.
Why?
No. Why?
Oh, okay.
Mate, hey, you can wear a tinfoil hat. You can have all the worries and fears of the world of everyone listening to you. You know, you put a little tape over your camera. The only reason you've got to worry about that if you're sitting in front of the camera watching porn, masturbating and wondering if that's going to get out. But even if you don't do that, someone's going to send you an email saying they saw you do that and ask you for 75 bitcoins. No. Look, bottom line is, if they're going to get you, they're going to get you. Big Brother, fucking Big Brother, bullshit.
No, I don't think it's about Big Brother. I think it's about, you know, like they're giving a lot of false information or encouraging people to do it. Dick, there was the no and you were the yes. Give us your yes.
So what social media does is it actually doesn't change much except increases the velocity and opportunity to say stuff.
Yep.
So you see traditional media retreating in terms, and social media is part of everyone's armoury, and what that means is that information can, at great velocity, can zip around the community, and it means that incorrect information can be disseminated incredibly quickly. And secondly, you've got such choice. You can choose to just listen to your own echo chamber. So what's happening is that people who I think are either stupid or terrible or both are choosing their own echo chamber and disseminating their crap. But I think that always happened. There was terrorism before there was social media.
Oh, and the newspapers.
It started with David Ben-Gurion, you know, when he was
the Stern gang
in Palestine.
But the newspapers, you know, like the Murdoch press, you know, like for instance, you know, how they were influencing so many people. They don't as much anymore because the youth aren't reading a newspaper, and a lot of other people aren't reading newspapers anymore. And you know, like, and one of their big networks, the Sky Network, they're actually going in a different direction all of a
Sky.
sudden. You know, like,
I fucking love them. I'd like to. It's the most ridiculous, most simplistic, most.
But you watch them every night.
No, I don't watch that shit.
Well, how do you know what they're like then?
Because I get it on my Facebook page. Some idiot that's an anti. I'm a newspaper. I have 4 newspapers now, and I use the social media as my letterbox.
No, he's
Back in the old
pro-social.
day, we used to actually print papers and put them in people's letterboxes. The beauty of the modern press and the
It's instant.
not only that, if it rains, my papers don't get wet.
But
So, and, you know, you put out 500,000 newspapers and it rains in Melbourne, they're all hanging out of the letterbox. No one's going to read that shit. It's all in the bin. Everyone's advertising.
But
all
you
the
let me
news.
get away with something.
Yes.
I said that I believe in some degree of control. You never said what control. You never said what fetters on the control.
All right, tell us.
So what is your fetish
Bugger if
on
I
control?
know. So that's the
Well,
issue. So there are terrorist gangs, including lots of internal American terrorists.
Oh, God.
Who use it for
Shocking.
Shocking.
Yeah.
We all agree it's shocking. I bet you we can't agree on how to stop it.
Why do we want to even talk about America? Well, I reckon we should let them blow each other up and eat each other's children, the Americans.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Interesting view. I get that.
You know, they're going to do it anyway. We
yeah.
just don't need to involve ourselves. Just watch good television from there, like Mayans MC, where they all shoot each other.
Every now and then I get on social media, because I'm a big user of it, I get guns and drugs and all that show up. I immediately...
Penis enlargement?
No, I don't get that. He would. But
I haven't had it for a while, so...
it's just happening in recent time for me. I report it straight away and it disappears. I never see it. But all of a sudden there are people, it's not nice what I'm
you a
starting
give up,
to see.
David?
Sorry?
Are you a give up?
I'm a give up.
Are you a give up? You're putting everyone to the Facebook police.
No, if it's...
He's a dobber.
Yeah, I'm a dobber. If it's wrong...
I
of
dobbed
course.
something. Somebody tried to blackmail me.
Yeah.
And asked for 40 bitcoins or whatever. And I sent it off to the federal police. Haven't heard 4 years later.
Yeah.
No, it's
They're hopeless.
Well, if you check
it's
your
all
bank
dud.
account.
None of that's
don't have
real.
any-
It's all these people practicing on imbeciles. If you fall into it, that's your problem. Oh, I've got 7 bitcoins. I'll send it to them. Who's got bitcoins? I mean, if you have, you're
One
a
of my children
multi-millionaire.
has.
You're not worried about. You can wank as long as you want. You're not going to worry about these imbeciles.
Well, a lot of people are doing it.
What,
It's
wanking
Bitcoin.
or bitcoins?
wank. Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah.
Younger people are.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But, every second luminary from the business world says that they're worthless.
I got
And yet they're going for 50 grand a coin.
Yeah, I got given 200 things called coin, right, for signing up,
Why did you sign up?
because they said they give me 200 coins, and now they're worth $1,600. And
What are you going to do with them?
I already bought 2 cases of red wine with them, David. High quality red wine that was delivered to my bloody doorstep. So I got given
So
this
it's real.
coin. Fuck yeah! I got given this coin and got the wine on my doorstep. Fred's Red, it's called.
Fred's free.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And it works.
It works. So, have you bought more?
I'm about to spend 500 US on another one that seems to have it also has a Visa card connected to it, so you can actually spend it in like a shop. Oh my God. So yeah, it depends on
Be
what
careful,
who
Mick.
you...
Be careful.
$500, you fuck off.
No, but if you...
Like, in 6 months, I'm told, and I've seen this mate's account, yeah? He went $500 to 16 grand in 3 months. Yeah?
That's a pyramid.
It's a
It is
pyramid scheme.
no, it's not pyramid.
It's a form of... It's going the other way, yeah.
Multi-level marketing. but it's
Remember the
guaranteed-
pyramid?
I
Did
do.
you get
Golden
caught-
Products.
I loved it.
Golden Products was the classic.
I made a fair bit of money out of it, like selling it on to friends and all that, and then we got out.
Golden
when we-
Products. This Jewish doctor had a house in Jessamine Road in Paran, and he'd pissed off to America or Israel or wherever. He just got out of Australia because he was a big golden product. Anyway, I started renting this place, yeah, and we weren't allowed to go into the garage. Well, that didn't work. We went in there; it was gunnelled full of golden products.
No, I'm
It was
talking about
full
the
to the
golden
gunnels.
aeroplane. It was just...
Oh, everyone had to get on the aeroplane and bring a friend.
It was a phenomenon, but it was only around for like
And
8
then
or 9
and
months
then
or
the people who
something.
get
Same shit.
Are you worried about us coming out of lockdown? You know, like Sydney are doing it right now. We're doing it in a week or so's time.
I think there's a potential for a stuff up.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm really concerned. You know,
I'm not going out for the first month. I'll let all the crazies get out there first.
Right.
And then I'll go.
But that's expressing your concern by self-isolating, which saves the world a bit of Mick time.
Yeah, well, mate,
yeah,
I work.
Thank you for staying home for the
That's
next
fine,
month.
That's fine. I get invited to places that enjoy my presence. You know?
But you
I
said
don't hang
that's-
with plebs
no
like
one
you.
believes
you said that you were staying home
Could I
for a
s-
month.
Yeah, unless I'm asked somewhere close. I don't care, you know. It'd have to be somewhere special for me to bother to go out. I'm not going to go out and go, oh, God, I'm free, ah! No. You end up with poxification. You know, end up getting it and end up giving it.
I hate
even
to
though
say
I'm
this,
double
but
vaxxed.
perhaps we might be agreeing again, Mick.
Well, there you go, Dick. Can someone get me a bourbon? Where's my fluffer?
All right.
So
They're over there.
but to summarise, we're
worried.
concerned.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned
That there's
because I'm seeing so many people now. You know, the parks last weekend, the
Yeah.
Saturday was beautiful weather. It was crazy. All the parks were full and no social distancing.
Yes, they
at all.
were. I went to botanical gardens and they were all sitting in 5s or 6s.
Oh no,
and
not where I
they
was.
weren't
seeing it.
4 metres apart or 1.5 metres apart or whatever, but they were all like.
But we've
the
got
groups were
regulation
4 metres
fatigue.
apart,
You know,
so-
in my street now,
You live on my street.
yeah, we live on the same street. The you know, there is no observance of the rules. None.
Yeah. Well, that's bad. What's pissing you off?
Well, it's a really personal thing. I'm trying to book a wedding reception for my beautiful daughter,
And you can't do it.
and it's just too hard.
The numbers.
Yeah.
Is she going to wait until next year? What? Small
No, she's
wedding.
already married.
Oh.
She got married in Croatia, but like, we've got to have the big party back here.
Wait until next year.
Yeah, we are. We're waiting
Wait
till
till
March.
next year.
Yeah.
You should
West
be
Beach
fine.
Pavilion,
You should be
Dick.
fine.
West Beach Pavilion.
All right, well, it's not a social call right now.
So anyway,
But it's a valid point. Valid point. Yours? What pisses you off?
What pisses me off, same shit as last week. I'm walking up Fitzroy Street and all these imbeciles on bicycles, you know.
But hold on, that was my piss off. You can't have that one. But you just want to knock them off their bikes.
I'm walking up and down. I do my daily walk around St Kilda. You know, this is my
Thank God I never bump into you.
I always go the other way, Dave, but I
Right.
see you, you don't see me.
You track me.
this is before the alcohol kicks in.
At 7 a.m.
Yeah.
7 a.m. I usually don't drink. It's only because I'm speaking to you two that I need alcohol, you know, but usually I don't
But
kick in
that-
till
that
about
Just call it as I see it.
6 o'clock, unless we're at bowls where I'll start just before 12, you know, on a Saturday. But yeah,
So do you drink before bowls?
I drink during bowls.
Doesn't it impact
Blur,
your
yeah.
unerring accuracy, your impeccable length and line?
No, not at all.
Doesn't it
dude.
undermine the brilliance that is Mick the bowler?
And that you
No.
actually bowl over into the next, what is it? The
Gutter.
next game? Gutter.
Gutter. It's called a ditch or a
A
ring.
ditch,
The ditch
right.
is the bit with the sand.
Have
in
you
it.
ever bowled when it's gone over and
David,
knocked the
lick
other balls
sand.
off?
Lick the sand,
Hold on, we're
David.
talking
It's
bowling.
got-
I'm
it's got orange, Agent Orange in
struggling
it.
to
Lick the
care.
sand.
Struggling to
Oh,
care.
all right. And well, mine is. I'm going to stick with it. Is the mask of how people are less and less wearing masks now, and it's. I was pissed off last time with it, and I'm even more so now.
Can I
because-
put something to you?
Yep.
And this is why I'm so upset that Victoria's seemingly done worse this time round than New South
I know.
Wales.
What's that about?
Well, I think it's because we're so fatigued with
are.
rules
We are.
that, so, you know, the grand final, the civil disobedience must have been almost universal.
Yeah. Well, that's why there was that spike after it. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
straight away.
Straight away. Straight away.
So that was interesting because that showed the regulators that their rationale is correct. If you keep people apart and lonely, they won't get diseased.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it also showed their Achilles heel.
Maybe we could
Because
say,
it showed that they're now losing the trust and following of
Everyone has. You're right. We are really battle worn.
maybe we could
And
save
but
10,000 lives, David, by mandating masks just before the next flu season. Take some responsibility.
Well, that's probably a good idea. It's a bit strategic because during the flu season we're going to be more vulnerable. So just hit us all with some more regulation during the
We
flu
figured
season.
it worked, like we stayed away from each other, put on masks and didn't cough in each other's faces, and no one got the flu or the cold.
Yeah.
And
That has to be a awakener.
yeah, but the youth and
We've lost them.
We've lost them, and I don't blame them.
Can't we put
but it
some
pisses
type of
me off.
lysergic acid in their water or something?
All right, you start it, and it's been recorded, so all is good. We
So
know
on your
who
way
to
to
blame.
the
We know
St
who
Kilda,
to blame.
on the way to the St Kilda jail, just say, "See you later, Dick and David."
Surely we can do something to change their consciousness.
See you later, Dick.
See you
and
later.
Nick.
No worries.
And I'm David. The grumpy old men will be back again because we're grumpy and we're old
And we're here.
and we're here.
And
Well,
we're
we
there.
are. Although he's going to jail, but the rest of us are here.
I'll be able to visit my son.
See ya.